Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, Dr. MEC in Limpopo is celebrating improvements in the audit outcomes of 27 municipalities in that province. He says this is a result of intensified support provided by several stakeholders. He has singled out the Capricorn and Waterberg district municipalities for attaining clean audits. This is an achievement that he says had not been achieved in the past 5 financial years. MEC Basikopo Makamu joins me now in studio just to tell us more. Thank you very much, MEC, for coming all the way to Gauteng just to speak to me about what's happening in the province of Limpopo. Just tell me more about these 27 municipalities and how they were able to achieve clean audits.
Well, thanks, Maseko. Let me indicate that as a province, as led by the Premier, we are celebrating the improvements. But I think there is still room to do more. It's only 2 municipalities, the Waterberg district and the Capricorn district, which got what is ultimately required in the form of clean audit. But you will see that we have got more municipalities, about 14 of them, who are sitting on unqualified audit opinion with issues that are cosmetics. If dealt with properly, they can easily get to clean audit. But we do have other municipalities which are promising, about 11 who are sitting on a qualified audit opinion. And we have got 1 which is in a negative audit opinion, which is Mopani on the disclaimer. But what is exciting us this time around, we are starting to benefit out of the 28 years of democracy, but 22 years of local government, that you start to see people who started in municipalities as interns, today are accounting officers that will be able to steer the accountability of finances, because that is what you require in the local government sphere as a core face of government, to make sure that people have confidence in the accountability within the local sphere. So as a province, we think we are in the step of the right direction, that we are seeing improvement and accountability within our municipalities.
Does this translate, MEC, to service delivery on the ground?
Well, it's a matter, let me say, it's a matter that we are also putting up to put mechanism measurements that will be able to see that the money spent and the service delivery on the ground should talk to the same language. Once you start to say you had 100 million, you have spent for this and it can be accounted for, then the next step is to see whether we got the value for money for this 100,000. And as a province, we have already started to have accountability sessions within the MIG, within all the grants, to see whether what is being done is exactly what the people want. I can say the province is not doing well in terms of water provision. It's a challenge that it's a priority number 1 for not only for the local government, even for the provincial government. The Premier is taking a lead in making sure that all the projects that are there for water provisioning, be it by the DWS or by the Water Board, Limpopo Northern Water, or all our water service authority, being the districts in the majority of cases and local municipalities, get to be completed. We don't have a session. Everybody, the Premier would want everybody who matters in the water provisioning value chain to come and account what is it. We are not happy as a province, but it's a matter that it's high on our agenda.
Yeah, because Lepalale has been in the news for a few bad reasons. There's been, stories that we've covered, for instance, on eNCA, MEC, where, you go to a community and the community says, look, we were promised this and we saw the project starting, and then suddenly it's been 5 years or 10 years and they've never come back, and we still don't have running water coming out of any of our taps. Maybe
I should even start. You covered a lot about the water, the Guyana water project.
Yes.
You came there, show people in the canal that were getting dirty water, which were sharing water with donkeys.
Unacceptable, right?
Unacceptable. That's why I say, even on the 8th of December, the president himself was there, coming to monitor that project. The minister, Nkunu, has been focused attention into making sure that all the challenges of that project. You know, I must tell you, Masako, that sometimes as government, we get to be collapsed by just an individual because we say we should empower our own people. We appoint somebody else who has submitted documentation that suffice and sufficient enough to say this person has got capacity to can deliver on this project. And they're running. let alone the issue of corrupt activities, but somebody submit. But when the person given the job start to perform, the first thing, get payment, this person go and buy a flashy car, not invest in the project that is there. You see, and that fails government. And that's another thing the president has been so vocal about it, the premier is so vocal about it, to make sure that even our supply or our procurement process must be proper, that they will be able to deliver a contractor that has got capacity to make sure that he delivers on what he has submitted the document for.
Is it enough to just be vocal about something? Because I think South Africans, by now you'd agree, are tired of people just being vocal about things.
Well, we are always making sure that the law enforcement agents get involved. I think you know about the Guyana Water Project.
Yeah.
That when the president, the minister, the premier, and everybody else are focusing in completing the project, the other leg of it is that law enforcement agencies are chasing every cent that has gone somewhere else where it was not intended for. So we are not necessarily vocal. I'm saying, as a politician, the best thing I can do is to condemn. It can be to talk about wrong things, but I leave it to the law enforcement agency to do their part, because this country has got a number of law enforcement agencies, the SIU, the Hawks, and all NPA and everybody else, that they must also focus in making sure that they apprehend and put to the books those that are wrongdoers.
You know what the unfortunate thing is, MEC, about being a politician, is that you're the face. You're the ones who talk to the people the most, and that's why you will always be asked the tough questions, and you will always be the one that is taken to task in terms of even the accountability of law enforcement. But tell me about, something else that is linked to water and sanitation. Limpopo has been named as one of those provinces where the eradication of pit latrines is too slow, and that comes also to service delivery of infrastructure. What are we doing about that?
Well, I sit in the executive council of the department of the province. The premier, it's always hard, especially on my colleague, the MEC for education, where the pit latrines are there. But because the premier has also given each and every MEC an instruction that the issue of the education, it's everybody's business. So I don't focus on my Coxter things. I must also do something for education. When they were back to school campaigns, we were going to schools. I even visited the school myself, as I'm talking to you, where a pit latrine is there. I had to check the progress of when is this. The contractor in that school, they say, has been appointed. So the MEC for education in the province, it's busy making sure that we eradicate the pit latrines and have the proper toilets for our children, because we don't want to be in the news like it was in the previous. But also, Basikopo, you must also come and report good stories that happens in that province. It's not only the pit latrine challenges that we face. There are some areas, like I'm talking today about the improvements of Audit. And I'm happy you gave me the opportunity to communicate such a decision. But we would like you to talk to us more areas where we are also doing good, so that the community can be able to see that we are doing well in some instances. Not that we are up to scratch. If we could have done everything, we will not exist. So we're existing in order for us to solve some of these challenges which are there, including the pit latrines.
I think that people want you to solve all of the things which are there, because they gave you a mandate as the electorate to fix all their problems. That's just how people view a political party or a government, rather, that says we will offer you this, we'll offer you this, we'll offer you a roof over your head, electricity, uninterrupted water supply, etc. So that's what the people would expect, because that's what you promise.
Well, that's what they expect, but you must know, Maseko, that the resources, how the economy of the country is performing, also have a bearing on the rate in which you will deliver services. So it could not be that we have all the resources available that can do everything at the same time. But our people want to hear that if Makamu, you said you're going to build 8,000 houses, did you build the 8,000 houses? Well, is all the amount? But the 8,000...
And if you didn't, where's the money?
Yes. The 8,000 will not necessarily cover everybody who does not have a house. That is what our people want. And I think it's the accountability that the president, but also the premier, are always putting, that we should be able to count. There are systems and the structures which hold us accountable as executive members of the legislature, but at the same time, our people need to be spoken to. And this platform that you are also giving us, it's quite important that we should be able to communicate what is it. Like you asked about the water of Guyana project. People in Guyana, they don't want to hear how many people will be arrested in corrupt activity. They just want to hear when they open a tap, do they have water?
Yeah,
and that's
water.
Clean water.
Yes.
That is what we should be able to account. And I said, the president himself was there.
Yeah.
The minister was there. The premier was there. The executive mayor was there. The MEC for Coxstar was there. All of us met with the community of Guyana. All of us. I must not go there. They ask me, I say I don't know.
Yes.
When they show that we are government that they've put. But that's why I tell you that sometimes the president, the premier, the MEC, the executive mayor, we sometimes being collapsed by one contract.
That's where I want to come, because I'm losing time, and my boss Zamazung was probably going to give me a hiding for asking another question. But I just need to know, when you say that, you are sometimes let down by one person who will make government look bad, I'm sure you're talking about, what people would call a tenderpreneur, someone that you would give the reins for that particular project, and you pay them anyway, even though they do shoddy work. But I want to know, do you think that the overdependence on relinquishing government projects to tenderpreneurs should probably slow down a little? Is that because you're saying that that is what slows you down in most cases?
I think personally we should strike a balance between giving business, because it also helps to create jobs and all other things. But we should even have capacity enough within our departments that will monitor these people so that they get able to perform. But like I said initially, we should have systems in place that when we procure, we don't necessarily believe or go through the papers that we get, but we should be able to have a track record for somebody else who will be able to deliver. You can't give a project of 300 million to a person who grading is just one CE. That person will not have capacity. No matter how the packaging and the information that person will provide, you will just have to see that this one will not necessarily be able to deliver on the big project. Give her or him a small project, come through. Incubation can also help.
All right. Well, I'll give you the fact that, there's municipalities who did get it right in terms of the Auditor General, and at least that also counts for accountability. So well done on that, and hopefully we see more of this happening until everything is cleared in terms of service delivery and the people on the ground start to see it. MEC, I have to let you go. I'm sorry. I know you wanted to respond to that, but Sama's going to Utlonchap.
No, it's fine. I think I'm happy to say you recognize the improvements which are there. And that's good for us.
Thank you, MEC. You can just take a seat for a little moment. That was Basikopo Makamu. He is the Cooperative MEC in the Limpopo province.